And welcome, everybody that's watching. We're at Yanksfield in St. Genevieve City Park. I'm Dennis Kreitler, and along with me will be Russ Toombs for tonight. And we will have Jeff Nix will be joining us whenever he gets at the ball field from a track meet. I think
Coach Nix has got a JV track meet up at the Dragon football field, and as soon as he gets done with that, he'll be down here to work with you, Coach Kreitler, and I know you guys will do a good job bringing it to you. And until that time, I guess I'll fill in. And again, I probably won't talk a whole lot. I'm trying to keep the book, do the camera, and maybe talk a little bit too. So
sounds good. Our game tonight, our MAAA Conference Championship game against the number 1 seed Valle Catholic Warriors against the number 7 seed St. Genevieve Dragons. And let's follow along here to see the path of St. Gen that got them here to the championship game as a number 7 seed. They beat Kingston 15-2, and then they matched up against North County, the number 2 seed, and beat them 8-5 in a 10-inning game. That set them up into the semifinals against the number 3 seed Farmington, and that was Wednesday night, right?
Right.
Chris? Yes.
No, it was last night.
And it was a 2-0 win over Farmington to get them into the championship game. The Valley Warriors' path to get here, they beat Fredericktown 5-2, West County 7-1, and Park Hills 2-0. So some familiar scores there in the semifinal game, 2-0 games there. So we got a number 1 seed against a 7 seed, and our lineups here for tonight, as Valle will be the home team as the higher seed. St. Genevieve will be the visiting team, even though we're at the St. Genevieve home field. Our lineup tonight for St. Genevieve, number 42, Derek Morgenthaler. He will be the pitcher, freshman. Batting second, number 1, Waylon Kemper at third base. Batting third, the center fielder, number 25, Wyatt Lamandier. And batting cleanup, the catcher with a big hit last night against Farmington, number 9, Dalton Geezer. And batting fifth, the DH, number 29, Drew Toombs. Batting sixth, number 30, Brady Boyer, who is playing left field. And batting 7, the first baseman, number 27, Daniel Vaith. And in the number 8 hole, second baseman, number 3, Grant Staffen. Followed by the shortstop, number 4, Brandon Henson. 26, Camden Rowe will be the right fielder.
You know, Coach Kreitler, they had a pretty cool deal just now happened. You know, the River Dogs and the baseball crew give scholarships. I think this is the first year that they've done that maybe, and they just gave the scholarships out to the 2 local kids. Connor Bosler for Valle ended up with the scholarship, and then Jake Brewster from St. Genevieve. And so had a little photo op. They got to go over there with Jason Boyer, who heads up the River Dog program now, and they'll get a little money to carry on their education into college.
Well, that's wonderful, and it's really a good time. I mean, you think about the 2 teams that are playing here tonight in the St. Genevieve community. What better night to have that in a championship game?
Right.
You got to feel pretty good about that.
You know, I talked to a couple of the coaches. In fact, I talked to Junie Bosler last night after our win against Farmington, and he just talked about how, you know, you see the River Dog program and you see all the programs that have come through, but you just see kids that work hard and aren't afraid to work hard. And here you get to see it in the championship game. We have the 2 St. Genevieve teams facing each other. And, you know, I think Valley's not a surprise that they're in it, you know, at a record. What was it, 28-2 or 26-2?
26-2.
You know, I think they're not the surprise. I think a lot of people assumed them being the number 1 seed, they'd probably be here. I think St. Gen is the surprise.
Absolutely.
I think, you know, being the 7 seed, not only a surprise there, but, you know, if you followed the Dragons all year, you know that they've played some really close games, lost some really close games, maybe just kicked the ball around 1 or 2 many times with some key errors to, you know, we've had a lot of ball games within 2 or 3 runs and could have swung the other way. So.
And that was something that I talked to Coach McDaniel before the game that, you know, I asked him about things, you know, maybe everything's clicking right now, or are you peaking at a very good time? And he said, yeah, you know, we're playing pretty good. He goes, there's always some areas that you really want to improve on, but you're getting good pitching, you're getting timely hitting, and you're making defensive plays.
Right.
And, that's how they're getting here.
Yeah. And that's the thing is, I think it's a 4-game winning streak that the Dragons are on right now. And a lot of that, it comes down to some key pitching that we've had, but also the fact that, when pitchers make good pitches and teams put balls in play, that we've played a lot better defense in getting the outs. And, we don't have any of those pitchers that are just going out and dominating and getting tons of strikeouts. They put the ball in play, you field it, you make outs, and that's the key.
Absolutely. And it looks like teams are huddling in to say their last words here before the game starts up. And Valle's hitting the field right now.
And guess what? My relief is here.
Oh, okay.
So I am going to hand it over
thanks
here
a lot,
to
Russ,
no problem, to our athletic director and baseball advocate and all sport advocate, but also a guy who played a little baseball himself at more than just the high school level. So I know his knowledge level. He's definitely forgot more than I even know about the sport. So I'm going to hand it over to Jeff Nix, our athletic director, and you guys have a great ball game.
Thank you. And
how's it going, Coach Kreitler?
It's going well.
What a beautiful day for baseball.
That's right.
Jeez.
You can't ask for more. It's a championship game, 2 local teams. You got a packed house, of people on the hillside. The bleachers are full. It's a great night. I mean, if you're not here, shame on you, I guess, huh?
Absolutely. I mean, like you said, how can you ask for anything better than a St. John Valley championship game in the town of St. Genevieve? And
yes.
What a beautiful field and 2 great teams. So I'm excited to see how this game goes.
Okay, pitching for the Warriors is number 11, Nick Oberly. Defensively, they have Cole Wood at catching, Chet Meyer playing first base. Second base is Tyler Bloom. Shortstop Connor Bosler. Third base Chris Loida. Left field Brendan Samples. Here's the pitch by Oberly. Just a bit high as Morgan Thaler steps in. Batting from the left side. Strike. It's 1-1, evens the count. Kind of expect a strike to be taken probably in the first at bat, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, I would think so. And Morgan's he's a good baseball player, or Derek, he's a good baseball player. He's played a lot of games. It's hard to believe that this time last year he was playing 14 and under baseball.
Right. Here's a ground ball to second base. Play is made. Go to first as Morgan Thaler grounds out to second for the first out. Put the ball in play. Looks like he got a 1-2 changeup off-speed pitch that he was able to put in play.
A little out on his front foot on that one, you could tell, and he took it pulled it there. But that's the job of the pitcher, is to get people off balance, and that's exactly what Nick Oberly did right there. But let's hope for the Dragons' sake that isn't the theme of the day.
And Kemper grounds to short. Bosler the throw, and that retires the second batter for the Dragons, number 1, Waylon Kemper. It's good to see that St. John's putting the ball in play early here.
They're being aggressive, that's for sure. They're swinging the bat. And that's exactly what you want if you're Coach McDaniel. You don't want our guys going up there and looking for walks or hoping for miracles to happen. You want kids up there swinging the bat and hoping to hit line drives.
Right. Up steps number 25, Wyatt Lamondier, as he takes a ball high. And there's a drive to right center. Finds the gap. Cut off by Yeagers. And the Dragons get a base hit in the first inning by Wyatt Lamondier with 2 outs.
I'm thinking with 2 outs here and the speed of Lamondier, it's probably not going to take very many pitches before I'm giving him the steal signal.
I agree.
Colwood is a good catcher with a strong arm, but there's not very many high school kids that are as quick as a Wyatt Lamondier.
Up is number 9, Dalton Giesler, who had a big hit last night to put the Dragons ahead.
Absolutely. That was clutch, and that got something started there, and that was all the Dragons needed, with a very good pitching performance from Lamondier and then Brewster coming in to close it out.
And he turns on one. Major League foul ball to the left.
That was a high pop fly right there.
He had a good swing at it.
He did.
Just ahead on it. Counts 1-1. Dragons coming out hitting.
Maybe pulled his front shoulder just a little bit on that.
Zoberly sets. And fires. Pitch high. 2-1. As Dalton stats, he is batting at a .338 right now. Another ball high, 3-1. Looking for something good here.
This is your count. When you got a 3-1 count right here, you're looking for your pitch because you've got 2 more strikes.
There's a little
That's gonna get
looper
down.
toward right field, and the second baseman, Tyler Bloom, makes a nice play going out to right field to spoil the Dragons' threat. But Wyatt Lamondier gets a base hit for the Dragons and is stranded, and the Dragons are done in the first inning there.
Little baseball 101 for anybody who was actually watching that and listening to us. When you got a second baseman who's going out into the outfield and having to catch the ball over his shoulder, and you've got an outfielder coming in, that outfielder has got to call off that second baseman and take that ball. It's a much easier catch for him, and he may have done that, and the second baseman just insisted on it, and it was a great catch by their second baseman there. But that, and 99% of the time, that's the outfielder's ball because it's a much easier. You can see it better. He's coming forward rather than that second baseman having to go back.
I agree, and it looks like the right fielder, maybe Tristan Rollhouse, he probably could have made that catch.
He's a good ball player. Yeah. He definitely could have made that catch, and obviously the second baseman can make that catch too, but it would have been easier for Tristan for sure.
At any rate, they did make the catch, and after a half an inning, we're 0-0 with the Warriors coming to bat. Garrett Yeagers will be the leadoff for the Warriors, number 9, followed by Nick Oberle, Connor Balsler, Cole Wood, Chet Meyer, Chris Loida, Jacob Beezer, Brendan Samples, and Tristan Rollhouse.
It's a nice little ceremony right before the game there. A good opportunity for the River Dogs organization to give out a brand new scholarship. This is the first year for that scholarship, and nice to see Connor Bosler and Jake Brewster get that from the River Dogs organization. Very, very good scholarship and a good cause.
It was. We did touch on a little bit of that. It's just a wonderful setting to have that done in a championship game with 2 local communities playing each other.
Absolutely. If only we could do that every year.
Exactly.
I tell you, I was talking with, I think it might have been Bobby Weiler today, and this is my 7th year as AD, and I'm pretty sure I know of at least 3 out of the 7 years where St. John and Valle have played in the conference championship. And when you've got 12 teams in some of the schools that we have in our conference, that's saying a lot.
Oh,
3 out of 7 years.
Definitely. Morgan Thaler, first pitch is a ball inside. Second's called for a strike.
I think
Evens
a big
account.
key for Derek today is going to be getting ahead in the count. You know, with him being young and not having a whole lot of velocity behind his pitch, he's going to have to get ahead in the count to be effective today.
Doing well so far, not missing by much. He gets a curveball over there to go ahead in the count 1-2.
That's a good pitch, just a little high.
Evens the count 2-2. Kind of keeping the hitter off balance there, you know. And there's a drive out to center field. Wyatt Lamondier didn't have to move too much for that. 1 away.
Pitcher, number 11, Nick Oberle.
As you can hear Clayton Geck doing his part with his announcements. We really don't have to say who's up, I guess, huh?
The voice of the Dragons, right?
That's right. Pitch inside to Oberle.
A little bit of a shadow over half of the infield here.
Here's the pitch. And a ground ball. Base hit in between short and third as Oberle. It's a base hit for the Warriors with 1 out. And that brings in Connor Brosler.
Shortstop, Number 3,
Little seeing eye
Connor
ground ball there
Baldwin.
was hit sharply, but hit where, you know, right in between the third baseman and the shortstop there, and it was good enough for a base hit.
Henson did make an effort to dive, which, you know, every infielder is going to try to do that if they're getting close. Here's a throw over to from a pickoff move. Oberle's back safely, just to keep him honest.
And in softball, you don't really have to worry about teaching the girls about the difference of a left-handed and a right-hander and what to go off on a steal.
No, it's pretty much on the release, right or left, and you go. But, you know, we kind of talk about lifting the heel up. And a throw over again. And Oberle was there safely. Yeah, there's a lot of difference between that. I mean,
Absolutely. You know, if you're on base and you got a right-handed pitcher up there, it's pretty easy.
and
You
a
know,
throw over again.
He
Yeah.
when that right-handed, you watch his feet, and if his right foot steps off, you go back. If his left foot comes up, you take off. With a left-hander, it's not that easy.
Right. And Morgenthaler falling behind here 2-0 to Connor. Just hope he's not getting distracted, throwing over too many times and pitching. Another pitch just a little bit high. 3-0 count. I would assume the take is on. Oh,
He swung.
swung on a 3-0 and he
Base hit.
drives it to right center. Oberle on his way to third. And cut off by Staffen. And we got first and third for the Warriors here in the first inning on a single by Connor Balsler. 3-0 count. Seen something he can like and drive, and worked out for him.
Sure did. He's a good enough hitter too. You know, you like to see almost any hitter take on a 3-0, but sometimes you got to give your better hitters that green light, because you know the pitcher is just trying to throw a strike. He's not trying to fool you on anything.
Right. And here's a pitch outside that Dalton Giesler really had to jump up and make a good play, as that ball kind of sailed. So we got first and third, one out here in the first. Runners going, throw down, cut off by Staffen. And we have second and third, one out, as Connor Balsler steals second base. As the Dragons defensively, looks like they're going to play in on the corners, back in the infield a little bit. So we're wanting to get an out, and it was probably a good move, as there's a little flare to right
He's
that's
tagging.
caught. And a very good play by Staffen. And that's just one of those things there. If you draw the infield in, that's probably a base hit, and they're up 2-0.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
First baseman, number 27, Chet
So now we have
Meyer.
2 outs, second and third. Chet Meyer is the batter for Valle. And, you know, we one pitch away of getting out of this mess.
Absolutely.
Could be huge.
This kind of situation here, these are where games are won and lost. It's you got a lot of pressure on the hitter here. You got 2 runners in scoring position with 2 outs, and there's a lot of pressure on the pitcher as well. And it's just a matter of who succeeds in these types of situations.
And a strike.
Good job getting ahead in the count.
And the pitch. Curveball, just a little high.
Not giving the high pitch today.
No.
Definitely not. I've seen several pitches in that same location, and they've been consistently called a ball. Which that's all you can ask from an umpire, is that he be consistent with his strike zone.
And there's another pitch high. 2-1. Up next, Chris Loida. You do have a base to give. There's a foul ball to the right over our heads. Brings a lot of 2s on the board for us.
Yes,
2
it
balls,
does.
2 strikes, 2 outs.
Well, let's hope that after this, it's not a 2-0.
That's right. Here's a pitch. Oh, looked like he was going to go. He held
He wanted
up.
it.
Full count. 2 outs. You will not see the runners starting. There's a pitch. Oh, just a little bit outside. Did not get the call. That was a very good pitch.
I'm not sure where that one was.
So that loads the bases.
Third baseman, number 2, Chris Loida.
With Chris Loida coming up, and, you know, that's not all so bad. I mean, you get a ground ball, you can go anywhere if you need to, so it's not all that bad.
Looked like he had a breaking ball from here with a full count, and that's that shows a lot of gusto from a freshman to get up there with a full count and throw a curveball.
Absolutely, and he's falling behind here to Loida, 1-0. The next pitch.
And that might have been in the same spot.
Yep. And that's a little bit high and inside, but we got the call there.
We got it.
1-1.
You win some, you lose some.
That's right. Keep pounding the plate. They'll eventually be called strikes. And that one's a little bit high. 2-1. No room to put Loida here. Want to try to make him hit the ball. There's 8 people out in the field. That'll help you. And high and inside again, 3-1.
You got to come after him here, but Loida is a big, strong kid that can hit the ball far, so you also got to be careful at the same time.
We just seen Connor Balsler hit 3-0 count, and I'm sure Lloyd is probably thinking the same thing. Here's the pitch. Swing and a foul back. 3-2 count, 2 outs. Runners will be moving, so your play's at first. With the pitch.
It'd be a good time for a strikeout right here.
And a strikeout. Yes. And the Warriors the Warriors strand the bases loaded. And the Dragons, that's a momentum swing that could carry over to this next half inning.
That'll get the Dragons buzzing a little bit, coming in the dugout ready for this top of the second inning. And why wait? Let's not wait like we did last night. Let's start scoring some runs now.
That's right. Up for the Dragons coming up will be, let me check my score here. Drew Toombs, I believe, would be up for the Dragons. We just got a report on our mile per hour. Morgan Thaler, fastball is generating around 75 miles an hour. Okay,
Not
with a
bad for a
curveball in the
freshman.
low 60s. And Oberle's around 75. So it looks like we're, you know, about the same speeds.
Well, I think last night you saw both the Dragons and the Warriors threw their fireballer, and Connor Bosler and Wyatt Lomondere. Those two kids can throw hard. They can throw low to mid 80s. And these guys that you're seeing today are going to be a lot more off speed, not quite the velocity that we saw last night.
Okay, and we quickly start into the second inning, 0-0 score here. Oberle sets, fires, and there's a fly ball that's hit softly to the shortstop, Connor Balsler. So Drew Toombs comes up, swings at the first pitch. Looked like a good pitch to hit. Wanted to get out in front, but
maybe a little off
got
the
a
end
little
of
bit
the
off.
bat there.
Up steps number 30, Brady Bullier. And the pitch down in the turf for a ball.
Brady is one of 3 freshmen that the Dragons have started for pretty well the whole year.
And here's a chopper to third. Takes a little bit of a hop at third, and Loida makes the play. So that ball came chopping up, and it looked like it had a little English that it did on the last hop go, you know, right on the line.
Absolutely.
But Loida stayed with it, fired over to first base, and barely got Brady out. And in steps Daniel Vaith. And that's a strike.
Now Loida fielded the ball and actually stepped on third base and used it to push off of as he threw over to first to give him a little bit of more velocity.
And the pitch, Vaith swings and misses. And he's down 0-2. 2 quick outs here in the second for the Dragons. And a curveball down and low that Daniel swings through. And that ends the second on no hits that inning for the Dragons. So we head to the bottom of the second, still 0-0. And the sun is slowly creeping down in that time frame where it's really feeling good right now.
Absolutely. What a beautiful day it's been all day today. And really, we've had a great spring. It's been very nice. We had a great April, and started off really a little cool in May, but like I said, today was great. Tomorrow looks like it's going to be great. A little warm on Sunday and a little rain after that, but that is spring. That's spring.
That's right. The game before this, there was a game here at 4:30. Farmington played Park Hill Central, and Farmington gets to win 3-1 for the third place game. We have other scores that around the conference. The 11th place game, Kingston beats Valle Caledonia 9-4, and the 7th place game, Arcadia Valley beats Fredericktown 7-0. I think there are 2 other games going on that have not been reported yet, right, Russ?
Leading off for the Warriors, designated hitter, number 1.
North County Potosi, the fifth place game.
And West County, Bismarck.
Okay.
Derek had 26 pitches in his first inning, so he's looking for.
And here's a fly ball off the bat of Jacob Beasler to right field, and it's caught.
And that could help. That could help cut down on the number of pitches that he had. Like what I was saying there, he had 26 pitches his first inning, and he needs a good single-digit inning right here to keep him low. Nick Oberle so far has a total of 19 pitches through 2 innings.
Okay. Good information to know as Morgan Thaler throws in to Brendan Samples, the left fielder, for a ball. And the pitch again. Strike. Evens the count. That fly ball to right field was caught by Camden Rowe, who's playing right field. Good to see him playing. And there's an off-speed pitch that drops in there for a strike. He seems to be finding that.
He's throwing it quite a bit, and when you're throwing that for a strike, you're going to be a lot more effective.
And there it is again.
Absolutely. You're going to be a lot more effective when you can throw it for a strike than you are just hoping that they're going to swing at something that's out of the strike zone.
And he's ahead 1-2, and this is a good point here. Do you keep throwing it?
I think you do. He seems like,
and he does it again.
He does.
Because you think the batter is there. He's like, oh, I just seen 3 in a row. He surely won't throw me another one.
And it's all a mind
And then here
game.
it comes.
Yep, and that's where a good catcher comes in, because a good catcher can anticipate what the batter's
And again, there's a
thinking.
chopper to third, and a good play made by Waylon Kemper for the second out. It's hard to see around this pole. I never can see the first baseman.
Right fielder, number 4, Tristan Rollhouse.
That's a tough play. You got to get that ball on that. When it chops up, if you let it bounce again, there's no way you'll get anybody.
On a dirt field, that's a lot tougher of a play than it is on this turf.
And the batter now, Tristan Rollhouse, who swings and misses at another curveball by Morgan Thaler as he's dealing. And some high heat there to go 0-2. And a pitch, low and inside.
Not a bad location right there.
Pretty good miss.
Not a bad location. Seems to be a little more sharp this inning. He's not throwing quite as many balls as he did the first inning.
And
a nice curveball there.
Curveball there, chopped to third, foul.
These Warriors are good hitters, and it doesn't matter if you're throwing to their number 1 or number 2 or their number 8, number 9. You've got to pitch to them and pitch smart to them.
And Derek's pitch again down low. That evens the count 2-2. So we're at that familiar point again where we have 2-2 in the second.
Nobody on this time, though. A little less stressful of a situation.
And the pitch, swing and a high fastball as Derek Morgenthaler is dealing here in the third inning.
Like I said, a little more sharp that inning than he was the first inning. Not that he was bad at all in the first inning, just a lot more strikes, and his breaking ball seemed to be a lot more sharp that inning. Very effective.
Absolutely. And you can tell it, when we got down toward the bottom of the Valley Warriors lineup, then, the balls and the swings were they were battling against Derek. compared to the top of the order. So
Absolutely.
13 pitches that inning right there, or one strikeout in a 1-2-3 inning. So very good inning there for the Dragons as we head to the top of the third. And we'll have Grant Staffen, the second baseman, leading it off.
Leading off for the Dragons, second baseman, number 3, Grant Staffen.
A little timely hitting this inning could go a long way for the Dragons, and that's what we're hoping for here.
That's right. And here's Oberle's pitch. And here's a ground ball to the second baseman. Makes the play, throws to first, and Staffen is retired on the very first pitch.
We've done
So
that.
we would like to,
2
we've
innings
seen
in a
that.
row.
That's right.
Yeah.
You don't want to let a pitcher like this kind of get off the hook by just swinging at the first pitch and, not getting his pitch count up.
Well, it's kind of similar to that old rule when the first batter gets up and swings and gets out on the first pitch, and the second batter does the same thing. If you're that third batter, you're taking a pitch. You're not going to go out there and give a pitcher a 3-pitch inning. Well, when you look at a pitcher who's got a low pitch count, maybe take a strike. It's not going to hurt.
Right.
And the opposite philosophy to that is, well, you're taking the bat out of the kid's hands and the aggressiveness out. But at the same time, going out every inning and swinging and giving 1 pitch, 1 out right off the bat, you're putting that pitcher in a good position to have a good day.
And Brandon Henson is walking off a foul ball that he hit off his lower foot on the very first pitch again. So we have a little break. And he steps back in. And here's the next pitch. Curveball, just a little bit inside.
Evens the count.
1-1. And the pitch again. And a little foul ball. Catcher underneath of it makes a play. So it looked like he got tied up on that pitch. Didn't square up on it. Maybe shaken up from the foul ball off his foot and
Number 42.
fouls out. And now we're quickly at 2 outs for the Dragons with leadoff batter Derek Morgenthaler, who could help his cause here. The last time Derek pitched that I was here doing the game, he really had a game of pitching and hitting.
Well, Derek was 4 for 6 the other day against North County in that game, and he's a tremendous hitter for only being a freshman, and like you said, he can help himself out here, much like Adam Wainwright has done the last few times he's pitched. I think he's got a triple, a double, and a home run in his last 2 pitching appearances, which is fantastic.
Mm-hmm. And Derek, it was 1-1, and now there's a question on a swing, and the third base umpire, Hank Kinsey, says no. He did not swing, so that's 2 balls and 1 strike. It didn't look like he was even close to swinging.
I didn't think so either, but
and here's a pitch. And caught by Connor Balsler, the shortstop, on a line drive by Derek Morgenthaler to end the inning.
hard hit ball there.
It did. It just didn't seem to have that under flume to it on a line drive to kind of get it rising a little bit. And Connor made a good play and timed his jump just right to snap it right out of the air.
Yep, if he would have been playing about 3 feet to his left or right, he would not have caught that ball. But Connor's a good athlete, and if you hit it right at him, chances are he's going to get it.
Absolutely. Bottom of the third rolls up. 0-0 here again. The Warriors coming to bat. And it could be to their top of the lineup, Garrett Yeagers. Is that right? Garrett flied out to center fielder the first at bat.
The Dragons today starting no seniors, have 5 juniors, 2 sophomores, and 3 freshmen out in the field, whereas Valle today starting 5 seniors, 2 juniors, 2 sophomores, and 1 freshman. So a little more experience as far as high school baseball for the Valle starters. But this is the same crew for the Dragons, who have won 3 straight in the conference tournament to get here today.
That's right. And I can remember some years ago that was the way in another conference championship game played over at Farmington. And that leads me into my trivia question for tonight. What year did Valle and St. John play over in Farmington on Wilson Rozier Field that St. John did upset the #1 seed Valley Warriors? What year was that? So we'll see if anybody out there watching and listening could text me, Russ, Jeff Nix, or Mr. Haney that's up here in our booth.
I would have to guess on the year, but I can tell you what happened at the very end of that game. You had Michael Haynes on second base and Nolan Ritter that hit Michael in for the win of that game, or for the go-ahead run that ended up being the winning hit.
That's right.
And my guess, I don't know.
Well, don't say the answer. Don't say the answer.
Okay,
Just you can write it down, okay? We don't want to go that far.
I'll just tell when you guys.
And here's a ground ball that chops over Kemper down the third base line, hit by Garrett Yeagers, and they did a good job of holding him for a single there. Yeah, that's one of those turf things that just bounces over. So the leadoff batter, Garrett Yeagers, reaches on a base hit, and that brings in Nick Oberle, who also had a base hit in the first inning. So Warriors have something started here. Let's see if we can turn two and get out of this. And a throw over.
Coach gives the signal for the Warriors, and the Warriors use wristbands similar to what you see in football. Starting to be more and more common in softball and baseball these days.
Yeah, actually, I'm thinking about using that for softball as Nick Oberle swings, fouls one back.
I tell you, in baseball, what the advantage of using those, I think, is that you're a lot less likely for somebody to steal your signals. I mean, if you've got a number system and you've got it pretty easy for your kids to understand, but hard to decode.
Oh, and here's a hit and run play that works out, and we're going to have first and third with nobody out on a hit and run play where Henson was covering second when Yeagers was off running on the pitch, and it was a good pitch by Morgenthaler on a curveball again. It's just that it was a ground ball right to the shortstop area that was vacated on the steal.
Don't you cover second base there with your second baseman and leave your shortstop where he's at with a right-handed batter?
That's you got to communicate on who's going to do that, but most of the time you're right there on that. On a right-handed batter, yeah, you want to keep your shortstop at home and the second baseman covers, but up is Connor Balzer, who singled his first time up. And it's 1-0. So let's see if the Warriors want to do some running and get runners on second and third here. And there's a throw over. And a little bit of a bluff in third base with Yeagers over there. Kind of gave a motion to go home.
I think he was ready to see if that ball squibbed past.
And the runner goes, and here's a fly ball to left field that will get over the head. And the Warriors will score one, if not two, and they do, and it's a double by Connor Balzler. That just went over the head of Brady Boyer, who might have got kind of switched around with his feet. It was a well-hit ball. One hopper to the fence.
Took a little bit of an awkward route there, but they would have scored at least one on that anyhow. Even if he would have caught the ball, they would have scored one is what they would have done there. They would have tagged up, and that would have been an awfully tough throw from that deep in the outfield for Brady. But instead, they get two out of that, and you hope that Derek can come back with no outs here in the third and start dealing a little bit.
Up is Cole Wood, and he takes ball two. And Cole Wood popped out to the second baseman in his last time. And the pitch, strike. 2-1 now, nobody out. Warriors up 2-0 here in the bottom of the third.
Seemed like Cole was taking a strike that at bat, and not a bad idea when you've got.
And curveball is fouled to the right, may get a car. No, goes over. Evens the count 2-2.
You know, a batter gets it's a double and hits in 2 runs to go up 2-0, and you wonder, is the pitcher going to throw strikes? I'm going to wait and see if he throws me one. He seemed to be taking a strike at this at bat. Now he's got two balls and 2 strikes here.
Right on another foul ball down the right field line that first base coach Junie Bosler ducks out of the way. And Morgan Thaler steps off. Back on, and here's the pitch. Curveball, little flare out to center field. Looks like it's going to drop. It does. Wyatt Lomadier throws in, cut off by Vaith, and we have first and third again for the Warriors on a base hit by Cole Wood. So not a very hard hit ball, but, you know, the outfielders were playing back. Ball just kind of found a way to get in. And now again, first and third. Chet Meyer up, who walked the last time. And Coach McDaniel calls time to go out and settle his freshman down.
Well, Coach Kreitler, what do you say to your freshman here as you go out, and he's struggling a little bit in this 3rd inning, and he's got no outs with 2 runners on and giving up 2 runs. What do you say to that freshman to get him in the right mind frame?
Well, you know, you support him. You know, you're pitching really well. I mean, you have their top of the lineup up. You know, they're competing just as well as you are, and you just want to go out there and make sure everything is going okay. You know, take some time, maybe get Valle off their rhythm of getting up there and swinging.
Absolutely, and when I go out there, I'm telling them, hey, you're doing really well with that curveball. Don't be afraid to go to it.
That's right.
If you're throwing it for a strike and you're getting them off balance, keep going to it.
And first pitch was up high. The second pitch looked a little low, but got the call. So it looks like we're getting low calls, but maybe not, you know, waist high to belly zone call, I guess, huh? And a pitch and the runner goes, and there's that first to third steal play that you're cut off. I mean, that's just a hard one to defend against.
Yes, it is.
So second and third for the Warriors, nobody out. Infield in, and there's a foul ball right at us that the screen caught. 2-2. Infield is in for the Dragons. Outfield seems kind of deep. And there's a curveball that was swung and missed, and we got to throw down the first. And now they're going home on a play, and he's safe there. So Connor Balsler takes off from the throw that Dalton Giesler had to throw down the first base, and, you know, it's a play and catch thing from there as quick as you can, back and forth.
I have always hated that rule in baseball, that if they swing and miss and you drop it, or even they don't even have to swing at it, if you drop a third strike, you got to throw down the first. That's a strikeout.
Yeah.
That's a terrible rule in baseball, and I mean it is what it is. But I have never liked that rule, and you know, we gave up a run on that rule right there.
That's probably happened to you quite a bit as pitching throughout your high school and college career, huh?
Absolutely.
That you just go back there thinking, gosh dang, I just struck somebody out, and here they still scored.
Yeah, and what's crazy is it goes as a strikeout in the stat book,
Yeah.
and for both the batter and the pitcher, but yet the pitcher works hard enough to get that strikeout and gets nothing out of it. That rule in baseball makes no sense to me.
And that brings in Chris Loida, who struck out the last time with somebody on third, and there's a ball hit to the shortstop. Hinston fields it, looks to third, and throws a bullet over to first for the second out. So to get out of this without another run scoring would be a very good thing for the Dragons right now, and only being down 3 runs.
Absolutely. They've still got a runner on third here that Derek has to work out of here, but you know, he gets two in a row, two big ones in a row there. Starts this batter out with a strike.
Jacob Beezer, who is the DH, who takes a pretty good cut.
Jacob's one of the two sophomores. He and Chris Lloyd are the two sophomores that start for Valle.
And there's a base hit to left field as he went down and dug that one out of the turf. And it's 4-0.
Left fielder, number 7, Brendan Samples.
And Brendan Samples comes in, who grounded out the third the last time. So 4-0 here in the bottom of the third. Here's the pitch. And a foul ball back. 0-1. As we have some activity in the Dragon bullpen. Here's the next pitch, and it's a foul ball off to the right.
You mentioned the activity in the bullpen here. We had Drew Toombs, who threw 8 2/3 in a very good performance against North County that eventually led to a win for the Dragons to get them to the championship bracket. And then, of course, Wyatt Lamondier throwing last night, almost the complete game there. So those guys are not available tonight just because of pitch count. So Brewster, who has thrown a couple of times this tournament, but in relief and for basically one inning, he's warming up there in the bullpen, and he's probably going to be the Dragons' first option if they have to go to the bullpen.
Right, and the next pitch sails on Derek a little bit and hits Brendan Samples.
Now batting for the Warriors, number 33, Caden Bowman.
And we have a pinch hitter. Number 33, Caden Bowman, who will be hitting for Tristan Rollhouse. We'll see if he stays into the game or if he's just hitting. Left-handed batter. First and second for the Warriors, 2 outs here, as they're given some time for Brendan Samples to shake off being hit by that pitch.
Got a left-handed batter against a left-handed pitcher here.
And that was just a little bit outside. And the pitch. And down low, 2-0. And a new batter in here, you know, go right after him, see what he can do. And another one high, so 3-0 the count, and I hope Derek is not laboring too much out there. He's thrown a lot of pitches here this inning. 3-0 count, and does not get the call for that one, and that loads the bases, and Coach McDaniel comes out again for the second time in this inning.
And 2 times means that he's got to make a move.
2 times in the same inning means you have to make a move.
It looks like it's going to be Jake Brewster.
Jake Brewster enters the game. You're right.
Who has come up big for the Dragons twice in this tournament, relieving Drew Toombs and Wyatt Lamondier both times, both after having great performances. And he came in and, like a good teammate, he sealed the deal for both of those 2 young men to get a win. And he's got a little bit different of a situation tonight with the Dragons being behind 4-0.
Yeah, it looks like Derek Morgenthaler will stay in the game and head to left field. The left fielder that was currently positioned by Brady Bullier. We'll have to check and see where all the other moves are being made after everything settles down here. And it looks like the Warriors maybe sent out another runner for the last pinch hitter that we had too. And we'll have to check that. So a lot of stuff going on here in the third inning. But, you know, for a freshman pitching in a championship game in his first year, he's had a lot of success during the season. You know, that's that's just experience that you're always going to have going in.
Absolutely, and that's something that you worry a little bit about. And you know, Derek comes in, he's pitching not only in the championship game of a conference tournament, but against a crosstown rival, and that's a stressful situation for any kid, much less a freshman. But you know, as I mentioned before the game, Derek has a different mentality. You know, he doesn't have that freshman mentality. He's got a confidence about him, an experience about him. And Coach McDaniel was confident enough to put him out there, and he started out pretty well in this game, and has just had a rough third inning.
So the book on Derek: 71 pitches, 7 hits, 2 walks, and 3 Ks.
In 2 2/3 innings.
That's right. And we're at bases loaded. Bottom of the third, Garrett Yeagers comes rolling around again, who singled the last time in this inning. And it looks like I'm trying to look out the right field if that's Brady Bullier playing right field now.
Yes, it is. Lamondier stayed in center. Camden Rowe came out so that Boyer could move over to right.
Okay. And Brewster is behind 2 balls, 1 strike with 2 outs here. And our runner for Valle, can't tell the number on it. And here's a ball hit down the third base line. That's foul. That got off the back quickly from Yeager.
Almost hit the Valley base runner there, and as Coach Toombs just mentioned, that's exactly why you take a lead into.
That's right. Here's a base hit there by Yeager, right in the money hole between third and short, and the throw home, a little high, too late. Scoring 2 more. Yeager taking second on the play. And there's runners at second and third now. Valle up 6-0.
And this game just became a difficult task for the Dragons. They're going to have to really do something in these next 4 innings if they want to come back and make this a game.
Right. And here's a curveball that drops in there for a strike to Nick Oberle. Plenty of game left. Just got to chip away.
Absolutely.
Get out of this inning first and then chip away.
Yeah.
Looks like Brewster's fastball is topping out at 78, so a little bit more giddy up. And that one's a bit outside at 2 balls and 1 strike. Long inning here.
Very long inning.
And here's a fly ball out to right field. On comes Brady Bullier, and he makes the catch. So, a lot of action there as the Warriors strand 2, but not after they score 6 in the bottom of the third. Off of, let's see, let me count this. 1, 2, 3, 5 hits. 5 hits it looks like. 6 hits, I'm sorry. Missed one there by Jacob Beezer. So 6 hits, 1 walk.
1 hit by pitch.
1 hit by pitch, so yeah. All right, so the Dragons have some work to do as they huddle outside of their dugout as Coach McDaniel probably giving them words of encouragement to stay focused, keep battling. And
probably telling them something along the lines of, you're not going to get up there with 1 swing of the bat, erase a 6-0 deficit. You got to get up there and string some hits together. And like, as we said before, timely hitting. You can't swing the bat hoping that you're going to all of a sudden make this a ball game with 1 swing of the bat. You've got to string them together and go up and do your job and hope that the teammates behind you do theirs as well.
Absolutely. It's a team game. I mean, you gotta play together, and you know, one person is just not going to hit a touchdown, a 7-run shot here. So
exactly,
you know, you're going to need a lot of base runners, and let's start it off here. And up the bat, we got Waylon Kemper, who swings at the first pitch for a strike. And a ball high for 1-1. Kind of looking out at that scoreboard again. See, it's not on. Any update on the scoreboard?
The great Davey Carl called me today, and Davey said they were working on it and trying to get it ready for tonight. He said, I can't promise you anything, but we're going to try to get it ready for tonight's games. And I talked to him at about 3 o'clock today, and he said that they're about a half a day of work away from getting it ready. And now the goal is to have it ready for our 2 home games next week on Tuesday and Wednesday.
All right, and Kemper strikes out for the first out. And that brings up
number 25, Wyatt Lamandier.
Brings up number 25, Wyatt Lamandier, who singled the last time. And is the only hit that the Dragons have so far. And he strikes a ball out in the first pitch that curves back to the left fielder. Well hit, line drive. Looked like it could have been a gap, but
Catcher, number
Jagers
9, Dalton
tracked it
Giesler.
down nicely with the right angle and
Tailed right toward him.
Yep, tailed
As
right toward him, right off
the
the
left-handed batter hits into right field. It's going to tail that way, and
absolutely.
played it perfectly. A well-hit ball, but an out.
And that brings in Dalton Giesler, who takes a ball high and swings at a ball and hits one right up the middle for a base hit for the second hit for the Dragons. 2 out hits, so let's see if we can get some 2-out magic going. And if I had a hat on, I would put it on some funky way to get some, some rally hat situation going on here.
Baseball is a funny sport like that. It's a very superstitious sport, and that's one of my favorites is the rally cap.
Well, you got to have some fun when you're playing something, or else, games like this or any game, it could become boring after a while.
Absolutely. Baseball is a slow-paced game, and compared to a hockey or basketball or football, it's slow-paced. But it's like you said, you got to do some fun things and have fun with it. A little chatter from the dugout, and a little superstition things here and there, and like you said, make it fun. And that's the key. A lot of times, the success is going out there and having a good time.
Right. And Drew Toombs steps in. Hits a ball to third baseman, it's booted, and there's no play as Drew hustles out on the first nicely.
And I scored that a hit. That's diving.
It was.
Should call it a sliding play.
In the hole, Loida had to really come over to his left. He slid down, just didn't come up with it. That would have been a tough play to get up and throw.
Not a really hard hit ball, but a well-placed ball, and I think I would give that a hit if I was keeping the scorebook.
Definitely. First and second, 2 outs. Brady Bullier up, takes a strike. We do have a pinch runner for Giesler. Looks like Gage Moyers. Is that right? Gage Moyers. And there's a throw down to first on a pickoff attempt by the catcher on a little throw down there. But Toombs is back safely.
Coach, you're a big St. Louis Blues fan. Tell us a little bit about the series now and kind of as a fan, the feeling that you have going into that game 5 tomorrow night in Dallas.
Well, you're killing me with that question. Well, let's talk about that during the break as the ball goes down low as I try to
I can tell you as
change
somebody
a little
who's
bit.
not
I was just at the
hockey
game
fan.
last night. I was at the Blues game last
and
night.
I knew that.
So we'll get to that here in a bit. So 3 balls and 1 strike, and Bullier hits another ground ball that Loida gets, and this time fields it cleanly, and throws him out. So 2 hits on that half inning for the Dragons. On 2 outs, they had a little 2-out magic going, but it was again spoiled by a ground ball. Kind of like putting the ball in play, getting hits. That's what you need to do. You got to chip away. It just didn't work out. You didn't get the big hit there, but you keep working at it.
Absolutely. I can't remember. I'm sure maybe there's a couple, but I can't remember any strikeouts that the Dragons had. Well, I remember one right now that the Dragons have after 4 innings. They're putting the ball in play. They're just not getting the timely hitting that we're talking about. And Russ Toombs, our stat keeper up here, says that we have 2 strikeouts so far. So we're putting the bat on the ball.
Definitely, yeah.
Putting the bat on the ball. Just got a timely hit and put the ball in the right spot and hit the ball hard somewhere.
Right. So going back to your Blues question, as a fan, and my take on the series so far, after Game 1 and what I've seen from Game 2 and 3 and even 4 last night, I think the Blues are the better team. They control the play in the offensive zone. They've slowed Dallas down. They can, they definitely out-check them and hit them and control the puck. Their goaltending's better. Last night's game, I think, was just a momentum game changer. I mean, you win that game, you're up 3-1, and, you're really in control of the series. And
well, I saw a stat that said if the teams that are up 3-1 win the series 90% of the time. So you're right, that would have been a huge win for the Blues last night.
So I still think that they can get things done in Dallas tomorrow and then come back home and wrap things up on Monday. At least I'm hoping so.
You hope so. And
I'd hate for it to go to 7 games
absolutely.
And go play there, and you never know what can happen in Game 7. As we have some action now, and number 3, Connor Balsler, who's had himself a night here so far with a single and a double and 2 RBIs, steps in and has a count 2-2. And drives one down right field line. That almost hit a couple of girls.
Just about hit Josie Toombs there, and she turns around with the look on her face like, what the heck was that?
Yeah. Squirrel?
I tell you
what,
you see this. We have this protective net here, and you see that in Major League Baseball. But baseball is one of those sports where you've got so many fans, and if you're not paying attention, and even sometimes when you are paying attention, it can be a dangerous situation with foul balls, and even with and there's another foul ball back. Even with bats sometimes that leave a batter's hand, or in the case of the major leagues, bats that break and go into the bleachers, and you see that sometimes fans get injured, and it's a little scary when you see a ball headed toward a group of people.
And here Connor Balsler is protecting the plate well as he's fouled off several pitches that Brewster's throwing. And you're right. I mean, I've been to a lot of games, baseball, hockey, where things get, projected up in the fans, and you just see people, not paying attention. If you're sitting down that low, you really have to keep your, focused on the game. And that's a ball, and Balsler is on first again with the walk.
That was a good at-bat by Connor Balsler. Fouled off some strikes and kept fouling them off until he got 4 balls and got on base out of the deal.
Up steps in Cole Wood, who flied out to second and had a base hit last inning. And nobody out, 6-0 here in the bottom of the 4th. Any action on my trivia question? Anybody got any bites on that? I have nothing. I have nobody. All I have is Clayton Geck texting me mile per hour on pitches.
I have one guess here. Guess is 2012.
That's incorrect.
2012 is I do know that it happened before 2012.
Okay. As Wood takes 2 balls. Here's the pitch, and that's a ball in the dirt, and a good play by Giesler to pick it right off the turf, and it's 3-0. We'll say that guess is really close, and that's a strike, as it's 3-1. And a pitch, fouled back, 3-2. As the sun is setting, it's still rather comfortable here. A lot of people on the hillside, a lot of people on the stands. And a strikeout on a breaking ball by Brewster. The runner was going on the pitch, Balsler, so he's on second base.
Chet Meyer.
And in steps Chet Meyer.
That was a big out right there with a runner on base and no outs, and then you get the strikeout. That was big, and now you hope that he goes right after Chet Meyer here and goes after for another strikeout.
That's right. If they get on base and they keep on, you know, piling on base runners, they can increase that lead even more, as that's a ball outside. And it's 2-0.
Yeah, nice crowd here. Looking around, there's quite a few people here. Bleachers are full. They're on the bat from one end of the hill to the other, and a bunch of people sitting in front of the bleachers here. This is a good-sized crowd here this afternoon.
Yeah, you can always tell when you see cars parked, you know, straight ahead from where the camera is pointing down third base line by the small soccer field. When you see cars parked back there, then you know that the parking lots around here are pretty full. And if you look down by the train tracks, you see cars parked, you know, pointing toward them. That's a good-sized crowd. And a good play by Staffen as a sharply hit ball to second base. Gets Chet Meyer out. A nice
Staffen
play.
has done a good job fielding that second base position this year. He's made several plays to his left like that are not easy plays, and he makes them look easy, and very impressive for a freshman. He's a young man with a bright future.
Like you said, another freshman, smaller build kid that, you know, is really take on that position in that role. Made a nice play. It's several plays that, you know, he went back on a ball in the first inning to make a play.
And if you watch here, any youngsters or parents who are sitting with their youngsters here, notice what, after each pitch, what the second baseman and the shortstop do. They both kind of jog towards second base there and are ready for an overthrown ball with the batter on third base. Have another one there. What you watch here, you got your shortstop and your second baseman both jog in, and they're ready in case that ball goes past, because with that runner on third, you got to be ready to throw that ball at the plate.
That's right.
You don't do
Good
that
point.
when there's no runners on, but when you got runners on, you definitely have to do that.
And Loida steps in, took 3 balls, and then took one right down the middle. No, turn him loose on 3-0 on that one. He was taken all the way. Here's the pitch. And he walked him on inside pitch. And you have first and third again, 2 outs.
Designated hitter, number 1, Jacob Beezer.
And Jacob Beezer comes in, who singled the last time. He was up last inning. As Coach Geck calls down a play, he looks on his wristband. Might have some action here, stealing a base. And good cut again. Just missed to the right.
Could be a lot of options there that a coach could be giving him. He could be giving him a take signal. Could be giving him a bunt signal, a hit and run with only your guy on first. A lot of different situations that a coach can do right there to try to make something happen for another run.
And he took a ball up high a little bit there. It evens the count 1-1. So first and third, bottom of the fourth. Brewster steps off. Tries to pick off play at first. Runner back safely. Again, balls are on third on this. He, you know, good ball player, good mind that you got to be careful with a runner like that over there. He'll take off. Ball 2 again, 2-1. Wide stance for Beezer.
Very wide stance.
And a swing and a fly ball on the infield. Going to be called by Vaith as he had it all the way.
A little bit of a ooh from the crowd there as the ball almost popped out of his glove, but almost does not count. So he caught the ball for the third out, and we head to the top of the fifth, still with a 6-0 score. Guys, well, we got a second here. I wanted to just take an opportunity as we head toward the end of this season to thank both of you guys, Russ and Dennis, and Rob Coleman and a few others as well, Dennis Drum, Clayton Geck. You guys come up here and do a fantastic job announcing these games. It's volunteer. You're not getting anything out of it, but just the enjoyment of doing it. And it's just amazing to me being able to go back and listen to the broadcast that you guys do. You guys have no training at all. You haven't been to college to do this, but you come up here and you've got the knowledge and the know-how, and you guys do a fantastic job. And I know there's a lot of people out there that appreciate being able to listen in and sometimes watch in. And as athletic director, I thank you guys for what you do.
Well, thanks. I love doing this. To come up here to watch any type of sporting event, really. And, I was a head coach at a high school, and, I've been around the game a little bit older, a little bit more experience,
And it's all made possible by our fantastic
right.
IT department. We got Nancy Toombs and Jason Bowman who have purchased this equipment and made it ready for you guys.
And as Daniel Vaith steps in and swings at the first pitch and hits a sharp hit ball out the center field that's caught for the first out of the Dragons. But no, I've talked to Rob about that before when we've worked together, and I wish I could do more games that come up here because, like I said, I just love doing that. And Staffen steps in, swings at the first pitch again, and hits a fly ball to center field. So Dragons are coming up there swinging again at the first pitch, and
Quickly
they're hitting it, but
they're hitting it.
2 outs here in the 5th inning. You want to kind of whittle away, and I think that's what maybe Coach McDaniel is talking to our next batter here about.
Could very well be. I remember when we played North County here, it was one of the first games we had on the new turf here. It was just absolutely pouring. And because of the turf, we were able to continue playing. We didn't even take a break. I mean, it's pouring. The rain is hitting my face down there as I stand on the concrete and I'm watching this game. I'm feeling sorry for the players who are having to deal with the elements on both teams. And I look up here and I see you guys and you're broadcasting
I know.
with the equipment up here, and I'm thinking those guys are troopers up there. And that's awesome.
I know. we had wrote stuff down, and here's a ball by Brandon Henson, who grounds out Lloyd a good play and throws him out for the 3rd out. But going back to that, we had written down lineups and things we want to talk about, and here it just kind of rains and everything's all drizzled and everything gets blurry, and we're here with nothing. So we're just pretty much just talking.
Just talking.
And
conversating.
And just going with the game.
Well, sometimes, I tell you what, sometimes those broadcasts are some of the more fun ones. So. And the lights come on in the dugout over there, and they turn them right back off for some reason. Somebody's messing with the light switch over there. One of the, and it's back on. It was one of the neat things about this field, new things, is lights in the dugout there.
That seems awful bright.
That's awfully bright.
I don't know if that's something that you want to have on during a game like this.
I don't know. That's a good question. In the summertime, it's just attracting bugs for you.
Might have to replace the bulbs for some kind of a bug bulb or something, huh?
Yeah, and they shut the lights. Somebody's messing with the lights in there. They're
Yeah,
having a good old
going
time
back
with
and
them.
on off. Having a little fun, I guess, huh?
Leading off for the Warriors.
Well, and we hope that the Dragons here in the bottom of the 5th can start having a little fun themselves. They need to get a quick inning here and come out in the top of the 6th, and they have got to, with a 6-0 deficit, make some noise in the top of the inning to try to get back in this game.
And you're right, and Brewster's still pitching for the Dragons, and one of the first things you have to do before that is get 3 outs here without anybody scoring. And up first for the Warriors is Brendan Samples, who on the second pitch hits a fly ball out the left field to Morgan Thaler Corrals, and that's the first out.
The lefty brings it in.
And up comes in Tristan Rollhouse, who re-enters after being pinch hit far. And Russ, you were trying to show me something a while ago when I was talking. Is there anything important that was it a pitching stat or something, or pitches during? Kind of lost track, huh? I know. That happens.
Let's talk about districts a little bit, Coach. We got districts coming up a week from tomorrow is the first round of the district tournament. And our district tournament is over in Potosi. They've got a nice complex over there. And we're headed back there again for another year of district baseball. Don't know yet what our seed is. We'll find out tomorrow morning, as the seed meeting is tomorrow in Potosi. But there's 7 teams in St. Genevieve's district. They're Class 4 District 2. And those 7 teams, let's see if I can remember them off the top of my head. It's Park Hills Central, St. Genevieve, North County, DeSoto, Windsor, Festus, and of course there's one that I can't think of.
And while you think of that, there's a fly ball out to right field that Brady Boyer calls off Staffen far on a ball hit by Tristan Rollhouse for the second out.
I left out the obvious team, Potosi. They're the hosts this year. That's going to be an interesting.
That's a nice complex over there, too.
It is, absolutely, absolutely. And that's going to be an interesting seed meeting because there's a lot of teams in that district that could argue to be a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5. And like I said, there's 7 teams in that district.
And I would think, with St. Gen here, what they've done in this tournament helps their case a little bit more for, some room too.
Absolutely. Right now they're 13-13, I believe, going into this game. And, that's probably pretty comparable to several of the teams in the district. And it's going to be interesting to find out tomorrow what seed we get, who we play and win. But I imagine with 7 teams that the number 1 seed will get and there's a line drive to third base for the third out.
All right. And 3 outs there for the Warriors on a good half inning for the Dragons there. Brewster, and pitching-wise, the throwing strikes, Valle hitting the ball but right at us to end any type of a threat in the 6th. So 6th inning, top of the 6th rolls around, 6-0 Warriors. And going to that with districts, there's probably a week break, right? You'll find out the seeding, but then there's next week you have games, 2 games that are here at home. Who are those opponents?
On Tuesday, we play Cape Central. It's a 4:30 start. And then on Wednesday, we turn right back around with Crystal City, which is actually senior night. Not very many seniors on this baseball team. We've got 2, Jake Brewster and Gage Moyers. You've heard both of their names this evening, with Gage pinch running and Jake, of course, coming in relief for Derek Morgenthaler. But we're actually going to recognize one other senior. We had a senior boy golfer, Nathan McClin, that'll be recognized that night as well. And that start time for Crystal City is 4:30 on Wednesday. And then, of course, they go to Saturday for the first round of districts. We're not sure what time or who our opponent is right now, but like I said, we'll find that out tomorrow.
Okay. And up comes in Derek Morgenthaler.
Got to be taking a strike here, huh, Dennis? You got
I would think
6-0 deficit in the 6th. You gotta take a strike.
Leadoff batter. He does take a strike there after looking at a ball. So it's 1-1. Oberle probably does not have that many pitches that he's thrown from all of the first ball pitches swung at for the Dragons. 46.
That's pretty efficient.
That is.
That's very efficient.
And another strike.
A lot of that is the Dragons going up and being aggressive and swinging at the first pitch, but they're hitting into outs, and it's keeping that pitch count down for Nick Oberle, who's doing a fine job today.
And there's a base hit up the middle. Oberle really had to get out of the way of that as it just went zipping by him right off the bat of Morgenthaler, who he is on with a base hit and nobody out. And you got Waylon Kemper now, top of the lineup here for St. Gen. See if we can get something going here. There's a ball in the dirt for a
You almost got to believe, Coach, that it's now or nothing.
Yeah, it is.
A 6-run inning it's doable, but it's very difficult to do. So you got to think that they got to score at least 2, hopefully more in this inning, so that they can get themselves back into this game.
And just thinking as a consolation here, if anything, get on the board. You played Valle earlier in the year. You lost 9-0. Getting on the board, I think, you talk about progressive throughout the season. And as they're, they've won 4 ball games in a row. Talk about these little bitty steps you got to take. Being a young team, this would be another one right here.
And they have taken big steps over the course of this season. They've and the runner goes down to second on that. And actually, there's a throw.
I thought it hit somebody. That seemed like it looked weird.
That was a little odd there. I don't think it hit him, because if you're Kemper and it hits you, you have to say that ball hit me.
You got to sell it.
Hit me. Yeah. There is no macho I want to bat going on right now, down 6-0.
And a strikeout for Kemper as Morgan Thaler went down to second base on, I guess, the wild pitch.
I think it's a pass ball.
I think
that was a catchable ball, and the catcher just missed it.
And here's a ball hit in the hole.
And that could
That's
be the
a base
first run.
hit. Lamandier, here comes the throw, and they stop Morgan Thaler at third. So it looks like the right fielder charged hard.
Probably the right call, not sending him there.
Right, Tristan Rollhouse charged the ball hard, got the ball cleanly, crow hopped up what you're supposed to do, and fired it into this cutoff. So now you have first and third, 1 out. Dalton Giesler, the batter, who's had some big hits. He's had some big hits here. A double right now would set you up pretty good, and a good swing there, but he didn't make contact at all for first strike. As he looks down to Coach McDaniel, who gives out a series of signs. And the pitch, curveball down low. Good patience on that. Good pitch recognition. So important in a bat to recognize the pitch, curveball, fastball.
And Dalton being, we talked about not having hardly any seniors on this team. Dalton being one of the juniors, so he's the kid that you want up in this situation. Not that our freshmen or sophomores can't do it, because that's not the case, but a little more experience, maybe a little even more confidence up at bat, and this is who you want up in this situation. And he takes a curveball for a strike there to even the count 2-2.
You got to think now, if he puts the ball in play on the ground, I would almost think that we're maybe at an angle down play where, Morgan Thaler is breaking the home with 1 out.
Well, in my coaching days in the past, when I coached third base, my rule was always.
And there's a strikeout. We didn't need that.
No, we didn't. Anything to the right side of the field, you were going.
Right. And it looks like Valle is conceding the run. They were in kind of double play depth.
They were. Yep.
For it. So that's brings in 29, Drew Toombs. Big hit here. Would get you some momentum, something, as he takes a pitch outside. Again, first and second.
You like to see a line drive right at the Dennis Fleeg sign out there in left field, left center. I think a drive out that way could score 2.
I think so.
With a speedy Wyatt Lamandier at first.
I think you're right.
And I think Drew would probably be pretty happy with that outcome right now.
2-0, good swing.
And he was shooting for that gap right there.
Yep. And it's 2 balls and 1 strike. That was a 2-0 swing, double or a home run swing there.
Yeah, pulled his head out a little bit. It was
and it's
swung
3
the
and 3
bat
and 1
hard and pulled his head out just a little bit.
And you're set up for the same exact thing. 2-0 counts, 3-1 counts. If it's there, you grip it and rip it.
Yep. A hitter's count right there.
Right
you're
down the middle,
you're
right
looking
on it.
for your pitch right there. You're looking for a pitch that can basically go into the size of a shoebox when you've got a 3-1 count. He's got to come to you in that situation.
Full count, runner from first will be going on the pitch. Drew calls time. And the pitch, curveball that he fights off and grounds out.
Gets Drew out on his front foot, but a good job fighting it off to live
Ground
for
out.
another pitch here.
Ground out foul. Way to fight that one off. You know, that
Yeah, he had him out on his
curveball
front foot, but he did a good job of
Yeah.
making contact and staying at the plate.
and a pitch, and spoils a good pitch again. Good battle here.
Win it now.
Pitch, fouled back again.
Drew being pesky here, and you know, as a pitcher, when you face a batter like this who keeps fouling off, as a pitcher, you think, come on, just swing and miss, would you? And Drew saying,
One of those
no
got to
way.
go through, yeah. Here's a pitch again, and a curveball. He grounds it. Loida comes in, makes a play, and throws him out. So good at bat there by Drew. Had a curveball that, you know, he had to swing at it, looked pretty close. So we had the Dragons had a threat, first and third, just came up short. Do or die there on that inning with the top of the lineup going into the next inning. You got the bottom of the lineup coming up. Hold Valle, pad here to just 6 and take your chances and, you know, take a strike, absolutely, because you still got to make Oberly work.
Well, at this point of the game, going into the bottom of the 6th, the Warriors have scored in 1 inning, but that inning was a monster inning for the Warriors. They scored 6 in the 3rd inning there, or is it the 2nd inning there? They scored 3rd inning. They scored 6 runs in the 3rd inning, and at this point, that's all it took was that one good inning. But you hope that the Dragons are not out of this, but they sure have put themselves in a bad position with only 1 inning left for them as far as it being at the plate.
Right. And roll around here, and let's check our number here. Looks like Nick Oberly is up for the Warriors. Hugh Brewster is still pitching. And there's a ground ball, hit to the third baseman. Kemper picks it, throws it to Vaith, 1 out.
Nick
Good
Oberly,
start.
yeah, good start there for Jake Brewster as Nick goes up swinging at the first pitch. And 1 pitch, 1 out.
We've seen a lot of that tonight.
We have seen a lot
First
of that.
pitch, you know, swinging, going up there. Good or bad, I guess if you're hitting the ball and you're hitting it well and solidly, it's a good plan.
Well, and my philosophy is in any sport, be aggressive.
Yeah.
You know, you can't go up there and let them get you down 1-0 or 0-1 to start every at bat, and you know, be aggressive. And sometimes it's not going to work out for you, but in any sport, you know, you've got to be aggressive.
Right.
You've got to be.
I know as coaching softball, I just kills me when the strikeouts start piling up. You know, I'm like, come on, we got to put the ball in play. Anything can happen if you put the ball in play. And for the
Absolutely.
most part, tonight so far, the Dragons have put the ball in play. Connor Balzer's in 2-2 count. Who fights off a nasty pitch there.
He just got the tip of that thing. It was.
He did.
A very high-pitched dink because he just got the very top of that ball.
Brewster throws in and tries to nibble that outside corner. Brings it to full count. And the foul ball just right over our head and lands on the roof. Could have made a play on that.
Could have made one.
Get the go-go gadget arm out.
You're showing
Probably
your
coulda
age a
got
little
it.
bit there,
Probably
Coach.
could have got it. My go-go gadget arm.
What was Inspector Gadget's dog there? He was
And a ball low.
it was him and his buddy, the dog. And I can't remember what the
Oh.
dog's name was.
We're going to have a second trivia question here.
Well, we haven't given the answer to the first one
I
yet.
know. We had a close one because Connor Balzler walks, and that brings up Cole Wood, who struck out the last time.
Can I give my guess on the trivia question yet, or do we need to wait longer?
We're gonna, since we brought it up, let's just give it a little bit more time here.
All right.
And there's a ball hit to Henson, who fields it, goes to second for one, and close play, but safe is the call. On a nice, that was a tailor-made double play. It looks like everybody did everything right. Just didn't happen in time.
Yep. Just kind of a little slower hit ground ball, and Henson playing deep there. Fielded the ball cleanly. Good throw to Grant. Grant got the ball out of his glove and over to first quickly, and it was a close play, but not close enough as they only turned one. Fielder's choice.
At any rate, that's 2 outs, 1 on. Chet Meyer up, and foul ball back is, I think, Brewster coming in to relieve Morgan Thaler has really done a good job.
He has. He's had a good tournament on the mound. He's been put in some high-pressure situations and really been pretty effective this tournament. It's good to see him after a slow start to his season to come out and be as effective as he is. He's a fine young man, one of only 2 seniors, as we had mentioned before, so he's starting to see his high school career closing here in a short couple of weeks.
And there's a drive out to center field. Going back is Wyatt Lamondier, who camps under and makes the play. And that retires Valle as they strand a runner. But still leads 6-0 as we head to the top of the 7th. This is the last chance here for the Dragons. And we'll check who they have coming up. And I guess, we're in the 7th inning here. I guess we can talk about that question that I asked when the date was, when Valle and St. John met in a championship final, conference championship game, back in 2011.
That would have been my guess.
2011.
That would have been my guess.
St. John was a lower seed and battled all the way through that tournament and faced off against number 1 seed Valle and upset them.
And that was a good game. I remember that game, and very, very vividly. It was the same night as our retirement banquet, because I left the game and drove straight to the retirement banquet and somewhat celebrated our conference championship that night. And that was the first of the 3 that I mentioned when we first started this game. Right. This is my 7th year as AD, and that was the first time in my tenure as AD that we played each other, St. John and Valle, in the conference championship for baseball. And a few years ago, we played over at Valle on their field in the conference championship. It was another good game.
Yeah, it was. I remember that too.
Yeah, and Valle came out on top of that game. It was raining a little
windy,
bit during that game, a little windy. Well played game. Went deep into the I want to say maybe the 6th inning before anybody scored, and Valle ended up winning that game. And this again is the 3rd time in the past 7 years that St. John and Valle have played in the MAAA Conference Championship, which bodes well for a small town like St. Genevieve.
And there's a line drive off the bat of Brady Bullier, who it's caught by the center fielder for the first out.
Another hard hit ball right at somebody.
It did take a strike. Instead of hitting at the first pitch, took a strike, and then found a pitch that he can drive, and he hit it well. Just hit it right at somebody. In steps Daniel Vaith with 1 out. And a ball outside. But, going back to that 2011, the roles were reversed. St. John had the younger team, or it was kind of the same, I'm sorry. St. John did have the younger team, and Valle had the more experienced team. And I think that, emotionally, that kind of, it was a great feeling for the young kids of St. John to have that.
Absolutely.
As Vaith has a count of, is that 3-1 already?
That's 3-1.
Okay.
3-1.
I seen a pitch go back through the screen. And there's a foul ball up toward
Heads
the
up,
left
youngsters.
side, right over a group of people. Toward the big tree. That big tree's been there, oh my gosh. And there's a line drive base hit for Daniel Valle. As
I believe that is the 4th hit for the Dragons this afternoon.
Second baseman, number 3, Grant Staffen.
6th hit.
6th hit. That's right.
I missed 2 somewhere.
As Grant Staffen.
6 hits, but no runs to show for it yet. But we hope that will not be the case this inning, as we have 1 out and 1 runner on, and Grant Staffen up to bat.
You know, you gotta like the way we're still just taking good at bats and swinging. And there's a base hit by Staffen in the money hole between short and third.
Dragons might have a little something going.
That's right. You just want to keep battling. No matter the outcome here, you keep your integrity, your passion for the game, and keep playing as hard as you can.
Well, as you mentioned before, just getting a couple of runs on the board, you know, and yeah, it could be at this point a little too late. We'll wait and see if that's the case or not. But you know, like you said, you can't ever give up. You got to keep battling.
Nope.
You got to keep trying to score and trying to do the best you can for yourself and your teammates. And that's what the Dragons are doing. They don't have any give up in them right now.
All right, and Henson steps in, and now Oberle is going 2-0. And you know, we've seen many teams come back from a larger deficit.
No doubt, and Valle scored 6 in 1 inning, so in this very game. So to say that St. John can't do it is not true whatsoever.
And that's a strike for Oberle. It makes it count 2-1, and a swing and a miss by Henson, who chases the ball probably a little bit out of the strike zone there. Makes it 2-2. 1 out again. And the pitch, and it's off the bat, probably going to double up, and that's the game. As Henson goes down and chases a ball and lines out to the second baseman, who flips to the shortstop covering and doubles up a runner, and that's our game for tonight. 6-0 Valle.
That was kind of the theme at the plate for the Dragons there. A pretty hard hit ball just right at the second baseman, caught the runner on second, leaning a little toward third, and ended up doubling him off. And you know, the Dragons, they did a great job. St. John did a great job at the plate tonight, and they just hit the ball at people. You know, not very many strikeouts in this game whatsoever, but couldn't manage to put the hits together all in 1 inning, and ended up getting beat 6-0. And hats off to Valle. They played a very good game, both defensively and offensively. Like I said, they had that 1 really good inning, and that's all that it took for Valle to claim a conference championship this evening.
And the plaques are going to be presented out. And again, you know, St. John being the number 7 seed to get this far and beat some really good teams is a very good accomplishment, especially for the youth that's on the team. I mean, you have 2 seniors, and you know, you're underclassmen, so you know, they battled courageously and you know, had a very, very good tournament run.
Brewster did a good job coming in. He had 59 pitches, gave up only 1 hit, did have 3 walks, had 1 strikeout, but very effective. Held the Warriors to 0 runs.
Right.
In
Nice.
the innings that he pitched. He did a great job and did his job. But as you said, the Dragons, you know, they're disappointed. They wanted to win this conference championship, but you know, in perspective, they're a young team, as you mentioned, to come in and as the 7 seed and lose in the championship game of this tournament. Hats off to St. Genevieve, and again, hats off to Valle. They're a very good team, the heavy favorite coming into this tournament to win, and they did just that. They're well coached. They got good athletes, got a lot of seniors on the team, which means a lot, and they claim another conference championship.
Right,
but,
and the book on Oberle here for tonight, pitching for the Warriors, 83 pitches, 7 hits, 0 walks, and 3 strikeouts over 7 innings pitched. So, you know, very good outing for him to nail down this championship win.
A couple of stats there you just mentioned that stand out to me. He had no walks, and that's anytime you can go 7 innings and not have any walks, you're probably going to be pretty effective.
Right.
Another stat that stuck out there, only 3 strikeouts. We mentioned that the Dragons were putting the bat on the ball, and they had 7 hits. Just couldn't manage to put the hits together at the right time.
Right. So that brings Valle's record to 27-2, and St. Jen's record at 11-13. And again, Mr. Nix, district seeding is tomorrow. That would take place and may end up maybe going through the weekend to figure out where everybody is at, and we'll try to get that information out to everybody as soon as possible. And then we got 2 home games next week for the regular season wrap-up and a senior night. So, very good run for the Dragons with a young team, and I congratulate them. That to have both of these teams, again, when we've mentioned that, to be in the conference championship final throughout this whole area is just something that everybody here in our town ought to be proud of.
Well, I guarantee you the other teams in the MAAA are saying, what the heck are these guys doing over in St. Genevieve to be so successful and be I don't want to say the word dominant, but to be able to continue to have the success that they have in a small town and have 2 different high schools.
Right. And it's got to start out young. I mean, we have a successful River Dog youth program here that's established for a lot of years that, we've hosted tournaments 2 times during the summertime, and there was just one, not this, was it this last weekend or the week before, a couple weeks ago, that, a lot of teams are coming into the community that we're hosting a tournament on, and, it seems like those youth teams have success then, and then it just carries over to both schools in our community.
Absolutely. Baseball is a game of a lot of skill and a lot of repetitiveness, a lot of at-bats, a lot of opportunities to pitch and to field and things like that. And you St. John and Valle parents out there that have young ones, have kids who aren't yet at the River Dog age, you really should consider getting your kids into youth baseball at an early age, because it's very beneficial, and you're seeing the 2 teams reap the benefits of that River Dog program. Them playing 30-plus games every year and 40-plus practices every year at the age of 8, 9, 10. It's creating a good situation here in St. Genevieve with our 2 high schools, and both high schools are definitely benefiting from that Little League program.
All right, and as the Warriors are getting their plaque here, that's going to probably wrap it up for us tonight here at Yanks Field. Again, 2nd place finish for the Dragons here in the MAAA Conference Tournament, and with the Valle Warriors winning the championship 6-0. And I guess that's we're going to wrap it up from here, unless you got anything else to say.
No, great job tonight, Coach. And
You
again,
too.
as athletic director, I really appreciate the job that you guys do. And I know I hear a lot of people talk about, man, they really do a good job, and it's really nice to be able to not only hear the game, but to see the game. That's a great benefit for our fans to have who maybe can't come to the game for whatever reason, or maybe they're out of town.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys do a fantastic job, and you're very easy to listen to as well.
And I'm sure the kids enjoy that too. After a game like this, they'll probably go back and replay it if they can, and watch the highlights or watch different parts of it. So I'm glad that we were able to provide that. So, all right, so that's going to wrap it up for us. I hope to do it here coming up next week if my schedule's free for it. So, all right, from Yanks Field in St. Genevieve, so long.